What is going on, guys and girls? It's the Short Bear. I just wanted to say quickly that we still have the Memorial Day sale going on, so use the code in the link below using the code MEMMONTH or MEMYEAR to get 20 to 25% off. Today we're going to talk about Vlrx. Vlrx is one of my biggest trades this year. This is the chart, alright. I traded it with conviction based on a few things that you could find in the filings, in the stats, and in the stock's history. And yeah, I'm gonna give you a full in-depth video today about exactly how I traded it. So let's get into it. To start, what we're gonna do is look at the chart, the whole history of the chart, all right? And you can see the highest price was 190. Now, it never traded on the bid or the ask at 190, but what this kind of stock does is they basically let the stock die with dilution, alright? Then they do a reverse stock split, which brings the stock price up, and they dilute more. Then they do another reverse stock split, dilute more, and so on and so on and so on. So that's why you see the high closing price right here. Now, there are other companies as great examples like DRYS or HMNY, and they do the same thing. Those companies could never, ever survive without doing this. So reverse stock split, dilution, reverse stock split, dilution, and so on and so on. All right, so that's the first indicator for me that this stock will, if not the day it gaps up, but in some near future will dilute more because they need the cash really, really bad. So that's the first thing I noticed. So after that, you could do this manually, but I've got a script written, all right, to do the work for me. So we're going to look at how the stock behaves and the stock's history. So in this case, Vlrx in the last 20 years, all right, this never traded like 20 years back, but it basically takes the whole history of the stock. Gapped up 9 times, all right, over 20%. 7 out of those 9 times were red, all right, so the stock closed red, which indicates to you, all right, every single time or nearly every single time it gaps up, it fails, all right, it closes red, which gives you a clear edge, all right. Yeah, and after that, what I'm going to look at is how big is the move down when it crashes, basically, so when it closes red. So in this case, you can see it right here, the average close from the open. The average close from the open is 24% to the downside, all right, which gives you a clear edge. This is a big move that we could expect today, all right. So after that, what we're going to look at are the filings, all right. Everything is written down right here, all right. But I'm going to show you exactly where to find it all. So to do so, we're going to start out right here on BAM SEC, all right. And we are going to click on the most recent financial statement, which is this one, the 10Q. And yeah, the first thing I'm going to write down, as I do always, basically, is the OS, which is in this case 106 million as of May 3rd, 2019, which you're going to write down, or I'm going to write down most of the time. But the important thing is you have also to look at other news. So in this case, right here, the 8K from May 17th, they announced a reverse stock split, all right? And the reverse stock split is for I believe 1 to 20, right here, 1 for 20, reverse stock split. As I told you just before, what they do is same thing over and over again. They reverse stock split the stock and then they let it die with dilution. That's how they get their cash, all right? Just so you understand the full picture. So the float is going to be smaller by 20 times. I think before that it was right around 70 million, which brings it down to right around 3.5 million. After that, I'm going to click on the financial statements and I'm going to get the cash situation sorted out, which is in this case, as of March 2019, 36 million, all right. And after that, I'm going to take, so that's what you're going to write down, and after that, you're going to write down the total current assets minus the total current liabilities. You're going to get the net working capital. That's the way I do it. You're going to take down or write down the accumulated deficit, and you're going to also write, try to find the cash burn. All right. To do so, we're going to look up the cash flow statements, which is right here, right? So for the 3 months ended March, they burned right around 11 million, which brings their cash burn to right around 3 million per month, all right? So this company is going to use every single gap up to basically dilute, all right? They need cash bad. They burn right around $36 million per year, and they won't make it far without new dilution. So as you can see right here, they still have some cash, but either way, they will need the cash in the end. So if they can dilute, they definitely will. So just to recap everything from here, all right, Vlrx is a stock that usually fails, all right. In 80% of cases, it ends up being red. When it's red, it closes at an average of, I believe, 24% to the downside. Yeah, from there on, we're going to look up the dilution, if they have some kind of ATM, and yes, they do, all right. So right here in those lines, you are going to find an ATM, all right, and the ATM is for 9.5 million. So I believe the ATM was for right around 10 million, and they diluted some, I believe, $500,000 as of March, all right. We also have warrants, all right, and that's the part where people are going to get kind of the wrong idea about the stock, because the warrants, as you can see, are from the Series A, and from the Series B. So if you look at it, you're going to see the Series A warrants, if exercised at the exercise price, blah, 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 is basically 60 cents, all right? So now you're looking at the stock and you're thinking, oh, great, it's gapping up to right around $4, I believe, and yeah, they've got a ton of warrants, and it's going to be awesome because the warrants are going to work. So in this case, it would have worked, but you need to really understand what's going on here. So they had a reverse stock split. The reverse stock split is going to change everything, basically, all right? So it's going to change the number of warrants, and it's going to change the exercise price. So the 75 million, all right, need to be divided by 20, right, which gives you in this case 3.75 million, and the price needs to be multiplied by 12 as well, which gives you an exercise price of $12. And we've also got some Series B, which is where is it? Well, it's even more, I believe. Yeah, same number. I believe they got some Series A already out, because I wrote down, or actually it's the same. It's the same. They just diluted some Series B warrants, but it's basically the same. So 75 million divided by 20, 75 million divided by 20, and then the exercise price of 60 cents and 48 cents multiplied by 20, and you're going to get basically those numbers, all right? So $9 and $12 warrants, which, as you can see, is above the opening price, or the price range we traded at during the pre-market. It doesn't do much, all right? But they have the ATM, and yeah, it's pretty much untapped, all right? So they still got most of it to use, and they're gonna use it very soon. Just if you look at the history, you're gonna notice that they don't wait much, all right? If you look at the time of the reverse stock split until they dilute, usually it's almost the first gap up. So from there on, alright, I know this company is burning cash like crazy, alright? They're burning cash like crazy. Let me pull up the chart first. They're burning cash like crazy. They've got an ATM. They usually dilute right away, and so on and so on. So now you kind of get the picture why I wanted to short it this. But still, alright, you don't know that a move like this will come, alright? You can suspect it, like we did, but you can't, alright? So I know a few stocks that did exactly the same in the last year. I'm going to show you a few examples just after. But as you can see from my Twitter chart, I covered some into the first pullback, alright, towards here. So the pre-market support, which was right around this 480 mark, where it bounced off. Because still, we could see some kind of dump and then kind of a retest of the highs, or even kind of retest the highs here. So I took some off here, but then when I saw the dumping, all right, I held onto it until right around here. Why did I do that? All right, because we looked at the tape and we understood, by the way, all right, this isn't normal. Usually we see a bounce, but here just the orders on the bid got chewed up right away. They got killed, smoked, and it just didn't stop, all right? Usually we see some volume fading, all right, some volume fade, but in this one, every single order got basically used as dilution, diluted, and within like 5 minutes, it was already red on the day, and it continued from there on. They kept on doing the same thing, and then we had the longs that were bagged. And I'm gonna show you exactly, sorry about that. And I'm going to show you exactly a few examples why I held onto it and I didn't just cover into like the 450s or something. So Vlrx isn't the first stock that that does that. That kind of dies right away. One more thing, Vlrx, look at the history, all right? I told you just before the stats, but also look at days. What does it do on red days when it opens? So as you can see right here, respect, all right, the pre-market highs, spikes, and then dies. The open is basically the highest closing price, all right? So in the first minute, it dies. And this is another run, so spikes, all right, blah, blah, blah. And it can't make it over the pre-market resistance, all right? Same thing here. This time, the open wasn't the highest price, but we tanked right away, which gives you the nice profit. That's also a reason why I covered just before. But still, like, we can't make it over the pre-market highs or even like a resistance because the highs are far over, which is the reason I started shorting right away in the pre-market. And we start going sideways and fade the whole day from there on. So once that happens, I'm going to show you RSLR and another one. Let me pull those up. I'm going to show you that as well. All right. Because those are the exceptions, all right, when they dilute hard. So this one, RSLS, back in 2018 in November on the 27th, it did the same thing, right? So ramps up, the manipulators move it up towards $3, same thing, same daily chart, exactly same thing. Opens, no pop whatsoever, dilution, all right. Fades, can't make it back up, all right. Has kind of a base right here around 10 a.m., which is German time, 4 p.m., and then dies until the end of the day. I told the guys this one should fade until the end of the day, but I still took profit, thinking we might see some kind of small bounce where I could add and recycle some. Same thing, couldn't get it. And then NCTY right here, all right, moves down during the pre-market, opens, tanks, all right, moves until the close, goes red, no problem, just dies out. So those are two examples. of exactly the type of dilution we saw. And once we saw that action, all right, so orders getting chewed up and it can't bounce, can't bounce, can't bounce, we knew right away, all right, this one should fade all day, no problem. So this is the whole picture. That's what I saw. If something is unclear or you have any question, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments or on Twitter. My DMs are always open, and I'll see you in the next one.